If you've ever wanted to build your own SaaS, a booking app is one of the best projects to start with. Tools like Calendly are everywhere. But today we're going to build our own version from scratch using Next.js, Supabase, and Cryptomus. By the end of this video, you'll have a working booking system where users can create services, share a public booking link, and accept appointments, all powered by a modern full-stack setup. And to make this project even more practical, we're going to add payments using today's sponsor, Cryptomus. Cryptomus is a payment platform that allows you to accept cryptocurrency and fiat payments, including options like USD and other traditional currencies. It handles invoice creation, secure payment processing, and real-time payment confirmation through webhooks. So once a customer completes their payment, we can automatically verify it and confirm their booking inside our app. It's developer-friendly, easy to integrate, and a great option if you want to support both global crypto users and standard fiat payments in your SaaS. I'll leave a link to Cryptomus in the description if you want to check it out. Now, let's start building our Calendly alternative. We'll begin by setting up our Next.js project and connecting it to Supabase. First, open your terminal and run the Supabase starter template for Next.js npx. Create Next app and then -e with Supabase and then the name of your app. Once that's done, move into the project folder by typing cd and then the name of your app. This template already comes with authentication utilities and the basic Supabase setup, which saves us a lot of time when building a SaaS. Next, we need to connect this app to our own Supabase project. Go to supabase.com, create a new project, and once it's ready, navigate to Project Settings and then API. Copy your project URL and publishable key. Back in your project folder, you'll notice a file called .env.example and change it into .local. This is where we store environment variables, which are sensitive pieces of information that your app needs to connect to external services, like Supabase, without hard coding them directly into your code. We need to add two key pieces of information from your Supabase project. Next, public Supabase URL is the address of your Supabase project. Basically, it tells your app where to send requests. Then, next public Supabase publishable key is a public key that lets your app safely talk to Supabase. Even though it's called public, it's tied to your project and only allows certain safe operations from the front end. It's designed to be exposed in your Next.js app, but should still not be shared outside your project. Once you've added these, it's time to make sure our app has all the required dependencies installed. In the terminal, type npm install. This command looks at the project's package JSON and downloads all the libraries we need. After that, start the development server with npm run dev. Now open your browser and go to localhost 3000. You should see the Supabase starter template running. It comes with basic authentication already set up, so you can sign up, log in, and your app will talk to Supabase behind the scenes. The next step is to set up our database schema. That's where we'll define services, bookings, and availability, and start building the core of our booking system. Head over to your Supabase dashboard and click on the SQL editor. This is where we can run SQL commands to create our database structure. First, let's think about what we need for a booking app. We need profiles. That's basically where we store user information. Who they are, their name, email, maybe their role. It's like their ID inside the app. Then we need services. These are the actual things people are offering, like a 30-minute consultation, a coaching call, or maybe a design review. That's what customers are booking in the first place. Next, we need availability. This is super important. It's basically the schedule. When someone is free each week, for example, Monday 9 to 12, without this, people could book anytime, even when you're asleep. Then we have bookings. These are the real appointments customers make. This connects a user, a service, a date, and a time all together in one record. And finally, we need payments. That's how we track if the appointment was paid, pending, or maybe even refunded. So when you think about it simply, a booking app is just these 5 building blocks working together: profiles, services, availability, bookings, and payments. Once you understand that structure, everything else becomes much easier to design. But here's the important part. We need to set up row-level security policies. This ensures users can only access their own data. It's like adding locks to each row in your database. First, we enable RLS on all of our tables. Then we create a policy that allows anyone to select, meaning anyone can view services. That's for customers. But when it comes to creating, updating, or deleting, we add a policy that checks auth UID equals user ID, which basically means the logged in user's ID must match the owner of that service. If it doesn't match, access denied. Simple lock system. We'll apply similar policies to all our tables to keep everything secure, like profiles, availability, booking, and payments. Then we automate profile creation. We write a function that runs right after a new user is inserted into auth users. Inside that function, we insert a new row into profiles using the new user's ID and email, and we grab their full name for metadata if it exists. Then we attach that function to a trigger, so every time someone signs up, their profile is automatically created. No manual steps. And just like that, we've secured the data and automated user setup, a strong foundation ready to build on. And don't worry, all of this SQL code is in our code slides in the description below. Now that our database is ready, let's build the dashboard where users can manage their services and bookings. First, we need to install a few UI components to make our app look good. We'll use shadcn UI. It's a collection of beautiful, customizable components. Run this in your terminal. npx shadcn at latest init. Choose the defaults when prompted. Then install the components we need. Now let's create the dashboard layout. Inside your app folder, create a new folder called dashboard and add a layout.tsx file. First, we start by importing the tools we need. Create client sets up our Supabase server connection. Redirect lets us send users somewhere else if they're not logged in. And link is Next.js way of doing navigation without full page reloads. Then we define our dashboard layout as an async server component, which is important because it allows us to check authentication before rendering anything. Inside, we call create client to get our Supabase client. Then Supabase auth, get user function to check if there's a logged in user. If there isn't, we immediately redirect to auth login route. This is server-side protection. The dashboard never even shows for unauthorized users. Next, we build the UI. First, we create a container that stretches the full height of the screen and uses Flex to organize everything vertically. Next, we add the top navigation bar. This is where we show the app name on the left and the logged in user's email on the right. After the nav, we split the page into two main sections using Flex, the sidebar and the main content. On the left, we add a sidebar with navigation links for dashboard, services, availability, and bookings. On the right, we have the main content area where children renders the actual page content. This keeps the layout reusable. Any page inside this layout will automatically appear here. This layout gives us a sidebar with navigation links and automatically checks if the user is logged in. If they're not, it redirects them to the login page. Now let's create the pages. Inside the same dashboard folder, create subfolders called availability, bookings, services, and settings. Next, inside the dashboard folder, create a new file called page tsx. Inside that file, let's define our imports and setup. We'll bring in Supabase, UI components, icons, and link. Next, let's create the async page and get the logged in user using Supabase auth get user function. Under that, let's start fetching some data we needed like active services, upcoming bookings, completed bookings, and calculate total revenue. Now in our return statement, let's welcome them. Then, let's create cards to show active services, upcoming bookings, total revenue, and completed. This will be our stats grid. Next are the quick actions. We just create links so users can easily create a new service, set their availability, and view their booking page. And lastly, we have recent bookings, which shows the 5 most recent bookings along with their payment status badges. Now that the dashboard is done, let's move to services. We create services page as an async component, get the logged in user, and fetch their services. The UI shows a header with a new service button, then either a prompt if no services exist, or a grid of cards displaying each service's details, and an edit link. Now, since all the remaining pages like availability, bookings, and settings work similarly, we've uploaded the full project to GitHub so anyone can copy and use it. Now, let's dive into payment functionality with Cryptomus, which is our payment gateway for this app. First, sign up at Cryptomus to get your API key and merchant ID, then add them to env.local. Now let's create a helper file to interact with the Cryptomus API. Inside your app folder, create a new folder called lib, and inside that, create a file called cryptomus.ts. This file will handle all the logic for talking to Cryptomus, so we don't have to repeat it elsewhere. First, we import crypto from Node. Then we create a class called Cryptomus to organize all our payment logic. Here, the constructor grabs your API key and merchant ID from environment variables. These are required to authenticate every request to Cryptomus. Next, we add a method to generate a signature, which is basically a secure hash that proves the request is really coming from our app. Then we define create payment, which calls the Cryptomus API to generate a payment URL. This means the amount, currency, and order ID come straight from our booking. The return URL is where the customer ends up after paying, and the callback URL is where Cryptomus tells us the payment went through. That signature, it just proves to Cryptomus that our request is legit. And at the end, we get back the response from their API, which has the payment link the customer needs. Lastly, we have verify webhook, which checks that notifications from Cryptomus are legitimate. This simply regenerates the signature from the data Cryptomus sent and compares it to the signature header. If it matches, we know the webhook is authentic. Finally, we export a single instance of the class so we can use it anywhere. Now let's create an API route to handle payment creation. This code listens for payment notifications from Cryptomus, verifies that the request is legit using a signature, and then finds the corresponding payment in our database. If the payment is confirmed as paid, it updates both the payment record and the associated booking to mark it as completed. This webhook is crucial. When a customer completes their payment on Cryptomus, Cryptomus sends a notification to this URL. We verify it's legitimate, then update our database to mark the booking as confirmed. Now let's update our booking calendar to actually create the booking and redirect to payment. This function handles what happens when someone clicks Book and Pay. First, it makes sure a service, date, and time are selected, then sets a loading state so the user knows something's happening. Next, it calculates the start and end time for the booking, creates a new booking record in Supabase with status pending and payment unpaid, then calls our /API/payments/create route to generate a Cryptomus payment. Finally, it redirects the user to the Cryptomus payment page, and if anything goes wrong, it stops loading and shows an error alert. Now, when someone books a time slot, they're immediately redirected to Cryptomus to complete their payment. Once paid, the webhook updates everything automatically. Now everything's wired up. But before shipping a SaaS app like this, we need to test it properly. And this is where TestSprite comes in. Instead of manually clicking through every edge case, we're going to use TestSprite as our AI testing agent. TestSprite connects through MCP, which allows it to understand our app's structure, endpoints, and user flows. Here's how it works. First, connect TestSprite to your project via MCP. Once it's connected, open your AI agent and type, "Test this project with TestSprite." Then, it will ask you for a PRD, things like user signup, creating a service, and other flows. Basically, what you want to test and how the expected behavior should look. After that, it will request some MCP inputs. Once everything is set, a new tab will open and the tests will start running. For example, here we have a past test, and you can also see the exact steps TestSprite performed to run it. You'll also see failed tests such as validation errors, saving without required values, and other edge cases. Plus, you can modify specific steps based on your needs. This is why testing your project before deployment saves a lot of time and headaches. If you want to try TestSprite, check the link below and get your free 1-month trial. It's a huge time saver when you need to test your web app efficiently. And there you have it, a complete booking app with cryptocurrency payments. We've got user authentication with Supabase, service management so users can create and manage their offerings, availability scheduling to set when you're free, and public booking pages, so each user gets their own link. This is a fully working SaaS app you could actually charge for. And if you wanted to take it further, you could add email notifications for new bookings, SMS reminders, calendar integration with Google or Outlook, an analytics dashboard, or even custom branding for each user. The code for this whole project is up on GitHub if you want to take a closer look. Big thanks to Cryptomus for sponsoring this video. If you need a payment gateway for your SaaS, apps, or anything else, definitely check them out. Links in the description. And if you like watching us build web apps like this, suggest some ideas and we'll create tutorials for them. Subscribe to stay tuned. Well, that's it for now, Novas. Thank you for watching.